Screening your tenants like a pro. It's easier than ever. It's fast, it's efficient, it's reliable, and best of all, it is completely free for landlords. Hey landlords, my name is Paul J. Roulard. I'm here with Ontario Landlord Help and LandlordEzy.ca. Today I am talking about screening your tenants like a pro. You can do it yourself, you can do it from home. You don't need a professional, you don't need a realtor, you don't need anybody to screen your properties now. You literally can do it yourself. I have the checklist right here, so if you want to follow along, you can just jump on the website olhgroup.ca. You can go to the Landlord Self-Help section, just click on there, click on the documents, and right here, you're gonna have a tenant screening checklist. This is what I use. It's exactly what the pros do. If you know what you're doing in this business and you know how to screen your tenants, this is exactly what you're doing. I do it all across Canada for all of my clients. And what I did is I put it into a DIY package for landlords, and it's right here. You can download it right from the website. And every time you have to screen a tenant, you're gonna follow everything within this checklist, and it's going to help you manage your properties better, more efficiently, find better quality tenants, and you're gonna deal with a lot less stress and problematic tenants. And this is a fact because this is what I do every single day. So let's go through the tenant checklist. It's 100% free. Download it from the website and you're going to screen tenants like a pro. I promise you, you're gonna do it if you follow this checklist. So it's very important. And I talk to so many landlords on a daily basis. And you know, a lot of landlords, they want to hire realtors. I am a real estate broker, and I'm telling you that I don't think you should hire a realtor or anybody else to show the property for you. I know some landlords, they have properties at a distance. You don't have a choice. But if you can do your own showings, I think it is so very important. Because in any industry, not just real estate, but any industry, when people are making commission and they're making money off selling a product, you're not gonna have the exact same service that you're gonna do yourself. Okay, I'm not saying this for every single individual. There's a lot of really great people in this industry, but you know, if you can do it yourself and you do your own showings, what I personally say to a lot of landlords is if you can go do the showing yourself, you meet the tenant and you interview them. Your entire showing that you do with a tenant is an interview process, and no realtor, at least not many that I know anyways, are going to be handling it just like this. You want to meet your tenants face to face. You want to shake their hand. You want to look at them in the eyes, and you want to see their character. You want to see who they are, okay? And you want to ask a series of questions. It's all right here as well. So when you meet your tenant, you're getting a good feeling, right? You're never going to hire somebody for a job opportunity without meeting them face to face and kind of getting an idea of who they are, what their character is like, how they answer questions. And you want to ask them some difficult questions that I have in here as well, because you want to get a feeling of who they are. And many times when I do showings and I ask these questions, right away, right off the hop, I know whether I'm going to invest 20 minutes in this showing, or I know whether I'm going to try to squeeze this out as quickly as possible, move on to the next tenant. And you will know this just by meeting your tenants. And these are the things that you actually do not get when you hire somebody to do everything. You don't get that personal interaction. You don't get the personal feeling. Okay, so you want to meet the tenants during the showing. You want to shake their hands and make eye contact. And you want to ask questions, you know, casually while you're walking through the unit. You want to ask them why they're moving. And this is a really great question because you want to see how they answer it. And you want to basically decipher if they have an eviction process or they're getting kicked out for non-payment of rent. And these are things a tenant will never tell you, but you can ask the questions and just get a good feeling back. And honestly, landlords, your gut feeling is going to tell you everything when it comes down to this. And you know, you're going to have a feeling for tenants when you meet them. So you want to ask where they currently live. And this is something you're going to get through the screening process itself, but you want to ask them now and then just kind of remember, because if they are lying and they don't want to tell you where their address is, keep a really mental note on this or record it and keep it hiding. Don't go public with it, but that's your own internal use. So and you want to make sure you cross-reference that when they do the screening process. So how much rent are they currently paying? You want to know that as well. You want to know what they're paying, whether they can budget for your property as well. And these are questions you also want to remember, because when you call their landlord later on through the process, you are going to make sure that you cross-reference these numbers and make sure they're legitimate, because a tenant who lies, and it's up to you to investigate and find these answers. Okay, so are you current on your rent? So are you paid up in time right now? Have you paid your rent? So these are questions you want to ask, because if they hesitate or they don't know how to answer it, or if they're firm with it, so that's a question I always ask. I say, how's your rent? Are you paid up to date right now? And if they say yes, then I always follow up. Do you mind through our process that you can show me rent receipts? Let them answer the questions. It's very important. So these are questions, you're not just drilling them like an interview, you're sitting down. These, you're walking through the property, you're going through it, and you're just kind of, every now and then, you're just subtly kind of asking a question, just like you're getting to know them, and throw in a question out there and just say, talk about the weather, mention the sun's out, mention the rain, just small talk like this. So that way you're just kind of having a casual conversation, and every now and then you're just kind of throwing a punch of a question. And trust me, psychology, and they're thinking on their end, they're not getting interrogated. It's just kind of like a smooth conversation. And you'll know the tenants who don't want to answer questions. You'll know right away. You ask them the hard question. Have you ever been evicted? You want to ask this question because you want to know whether it's a stern nope. And you're going to have some tenants, and I get it every now and then. Yes, I'm currently getting evicted right now on an N12. So that means that a tenant is taking over the unit. Okay, so that's not a huge factor on an N12, but you also want to make sure when you go through the whole process, you want to see how much money they're paying. There could be a reason why the landlord wants to evict on an N12, although you shouldn't be evicting on an N12 for any other reason other than occupying the unit, etc. But you want to be very cautious with that. But again, you just want to ask them the questions, get them to answer the questions, and this way you're going to really get a good feel of this tenant. So also ask them, it's very important, ask them where they work. And they're going to tell you where they work. So, there's tenants on ODSP, there's tenants who are retired, old age pension, etc. So, everyone is a little bit differently, but you want to ask these questions because some of us landlords, we have different criteria for some of our properties, and not every property is going to have the same quality or type of tenant for every property, right? So you want to ask these questions because what you're doing after through the process is you're going to be making sure you have a mental note that you remember where they said they work. Your next question is, what is your monthly income? This is a tough question sometimes. It's hard to ask it. But once you start doing it, it's going to become normal. Bring this checklist with you on every single showing. Trust me, just bring it with you. It's going to help you, okay? And you ask these questions, and you want to know what this is. And if a tenant does not want to share these details, okay, I don't want you to rent my property. Take care, goodbye. And that's it. So, this is your business at the end of the day. You need to run this just like your business. So if a tenant's not comfortable saying they make $3,000 a month or $4,000 or $5,000 a month, then, I'm not comfortable renting my property to you. And trust me, I have said this to tenants before, and I don't care what they do. I don't care whether they don't like me. I don't care if they walk out that door and they say, I'm going to file a complaint. Go make a complaint about me. It's fine. What I'm doing is I'm protecting my business. I'm protecting my property. And, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You have to make sure that you're putting quality tenants into your property. Okay, so once you do your showing, you're going to have a really good feeling of who this tenant is, especially if you follow this exactly. Okay, so once you're done there, if you like the tenant, right away you would say, how do you like it? Would you like to fill out an application? You want to do this right on the spot, okay? Right there, right then. And if they say, yes, I like it, that is great. Pull up your phone. If you use your phone, pull it up, and what you're going to do is you're going to already be registered on LandlordEzy.ca. So all you're going to do, and this is exactly what I do and my team does. So when we all do showings and we like a tenant, right there, we pull up LandlordEzy and we invite them to the screening and credit check right there. So all I need is their email address and all I type is the address and the unit number, and they get an email instantly. Okay, confirm they got that email, and then from there you say your goodbyes, you shake your hand, and you go your own ways. So in that screening report, they're going to give you a government issued ID, so you want to confirm that these are all there. Their pay stubs, employment letters, bank statements, previous landlord references, and there's a lot more details in here. You're going to have a full credit check, and literally everything's in there. If you get this information and let's say they're missing pay stubs, and a lot of times this does happen, tenants are not giving you all the full details, especially if they have something to hide. Okay, they're not going to give you the pay stubs if they're not making enough money. They're not going to give you the pay stubs if they've only worked 10 hours a week for the past 2 weeks. They're not going to give you pay stubs if it's not enough money to cover the rent, right? So you want to make sure that they give you this data, okay? Same thing with bank statements. And I get a lot of tenants and say, well, I don't want to share my bank statements. I'm not comfortable with it. That's fair. I understand how you feel. And I'm just not comfortable moving forward because I just have to make sure that you're able to afford your rent. Okay, leave it at that. Let them make the decision whether they want to rent your property or not. Okay, so that's super important. So a lot of times they won't give you this data. So all you do is just respond back to them however you do. You can even use LandlordEzy chat system on the website, or text or phone call. But you send a response back and say, hi there, I'm missing bank statements for the past 3 months, and I'm also missing your pay stubs. Can you please upload it to the LandlordEzy profile? And all they have to do is log back in, update their tenant profile, drop the files in there really easily, and then all you have to do is open up your credit check again when they confirm it's complete. And it's that easy, right? So you're also going to get a notification in your email. So when they update it, you're going to get a notification. So that way you can just click it and then open it. Okay, so you're going to have a bunch of other stuff in the screening report. And you're also going to have a full AI powered credit check. So when you do open this up, you're going to have a complete AI summary, which is really amazing. You're going to have the credit score and rent to income ratios. All that's going to be on there. You're going to have the employment income consistency. So you're going to see everything on there. And then any flags, any collections, missed payments, etc. All of this is going to be on there. And the system breaks everything down for you. So LandlordEzy breaks down all the details. It gives you the tenant trust score, and it gives you reliability, what LandlordEzy predicts and what they feel, that all the AI code literally writes all this stuff up. It reads the entire Equifax. It reads all the information. It reads all the data. It reads all the pay stubs. It literally reads everything. It reads the bank statements, and it spits out all the data, and it goes through everything, even the identification that's added here. So it spits everything out, and it's also seeing whether this stuff is legitimate or it's real or not. So once you have this, it's going to give you a trust factor score, and it's going to tell you what you should do as a landlord, whether you should approve this tenant or if they can't afford it, etc. All this data is literally going to be here in the check sheet. So take a look at this. There's a lot here that I'm not even saying because it's so big. And it's so useful for landlords. So we use this all across Canada, and it's amazing. So the next step is you want to make sure your final verifications is complete. So you want to call their employer or previous employer and verify their job and verify their income. So that's super important. If you're not used to doing this, do it. It's really easy. It's not difficult. Usually when you call the employer, you just say, hey, my name is Paul Roulard. I just have a tenant who's applying for one of my properties, and I know that they work for you. Can you just confirm that they're employed with you? And a lot of times they'll bring you to HR or somebody different, etc. But you'll get somebody on the phone, and they'll say, yeah, they work for us. And I'm just going to say, okay, amazing. I really appreciate that. How long have they been with you for? And just have a conversation. Keep it nice, keep it gentle, keep it soft. And they're going to give you the information, right? And then, they say, oh, he's been here for 2 years. So just verify this on the actual screening report, okay? And you also want to ask the question, if you don't mind, can you just verify their income? What they say in their screening report is that they earn $4,000 a month. Can you just tell me if this is true or not? You're going to get a response back. Sometimes they don't want to give you information. You can't push these details, but just try to kind of push that into the conversation. And the worst they can say is, I can't give this information. And then it's up to you just to rely to make sure you have these details. But you have the bank statements, right? So you just go to the bank statement, you want to check all of their deposits. And if they have true deposits to what they're saying they're generating, well, then it's going to be there. And if it's not there in the bank statement, then all you're doing is you're going to go back to them and you're going to say, hey, I noticed that you don't have the deposits in your bank statements that show me that you make the income that you said you made. Can you show me where these deposits go in your bank account? And leave it at that. If they don't show it, guess what? You kick the bucket, you close everything off, you move on to the next tenant, and you don't even care. Because why? It's your business, right? It's your business, landlords. You run it like a business. Okay, so the next part is you call previous landlords to verify rent payment history and behavior, etc. We also have an amazing feature, which is landlord handshake and the LTB checks. So I'll get into that in a moment. But you want to call the previous landlords. So that is super important. And it's an easy conversation. Landlords, everyone who's watching this, you know, when you get a call from a landlord, please take a moment of your day and talk to the landlord and have a conversation. Don't be rushed and just, we're all in the same business. We're all trying to help each other. So let's find out whether these tenants deserve another place or not. And I see it all the time where we call landlords and we just want to get them out of our houses. So we're going to give a good reference. Don't do that, landlords. Please do not do that. We are all getting hurt in this industry from tenants who are abusing the system. And the Landlord and Tenant Board does not do anything to protect us. Okay? So do that. And the next process is the system LandlordEzy is also going to cross-reference all of the LTB orders on the website. As this time in this video right now, we have just under 45,000 LTB orders and handshakes. So what the system does, it's going to read all the data and it's going to see if there's another landlord who has registered this tenant on LandlordEzy. So whether that landlord registered the tenant as a property management software or uploaded an LTB order or registered the tenant under the landlord handshake, it's going to have a hit. And guess what you do with that hit? You click the button and it opens up a chat dialogue with that landlord and you can chat in real time with that landlord. This is my invention. I created this and I did this because I wanted to find ways to get quick access to previous landlords and create an entire database and ecosystem for all these landlords. So that's how you do it. The next process is the approval or the denial. Okay, so if approved, you're going to whip up the lease. You're going to put all the lease together. Soon we are creating all the AI coding where we're going to be doing leases directly on LandlordEzy. So check back on the website and that's going to be released very soon. But you're going to put together the lease and you're going to send it for signing, which our system's going to do very soon. It'll be all full of digital signatures. That's going to be another video once we release that. So stay tuned, subscribe, and come back because you'll see videos like this in the future as soon as that part is enabled. So you collect your first and last month's rent. You're going to upload all of your lease and everything right to the LandlordEzy website, and you're going to begin onboarding the tenant. And you're going to begin rent reporting to Equifax. And that's a huge feature. That's part of what we do. We report the rent directly to Equifax every single month. And it's so easy. I think it's like 2 clicks. Once you register your tenant, you're like click, click, and then it goes out to Equifax once a month. So it's going to help build the credit for the tenant if they pay on time. And if they don't pay on time, it's going to affect their credit. But what's it going to do, which is most important, and the reason why we're doing this, it's going to push the tenant to want to pay on time rent every single time. Okay. So that's pretty much it. If they're denied, you can just let them know they're not a good fit. And don't get into too many details here. You don't need to have conversations and you don't owe anybody an explanation. So, just be very cautious with this. You don't want to be discriminative or anything along those lines. If they're denied, mostly times what I do is I just let them know that they're not approved for the property and I just kind of go my own way and I kind of leave it at that. That's what I do. You might have your own way of doing this, but you can do anything that you like. So that's pretty much it, landlords. Go to the website, go to olhgroup.ca, go to the Landlord Self-Help section, And then from there, you go to the document downloads, and then you can download this right here and follow it every single time. And I use this on LandlordEzy. I invented LandlordEzy. I invented all of these processes. So if you do exactly what I just did right here, you don't ever have to pay anybody to do this ever again. Okay? Thanks, landlords. I appreciate it. If this has helped you, please give me a like button, hit the heart button, whatever button there is there. Please share it and tell other landlords. And I really appreciate it. It's going to help spread the video to other landlords, and we all need help in this industry. We all need somebody giving us direction of what to do, and not just people who are here trying to make money off of everything. And so this is not what we do on Ontario Landlord Help Group. Check out our Facebook group, and you're going to see that we give help to thousands and thousands and thousands of landlords on a weekly basis. And if you ever need any paralegal help, or you need anything along those lines, just have a free strategy session with us. You can book it right on our website. I have a paralegal team directly in the office, and they'll be happy to have conversations, break down everything you're dealing with, and give you a quote to handle everything. So thank you, landlords. I appreciate it, and happy landlording.